Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, this is Orphan Last, aka Skylar Madison, and today it's time for 3 Years in Retrospect. This is a series where I make one video once a year devoted to the series, and I spend a little bit of time kind of looking over my channel, kind of talking about its history as well as the identity that I've formed around it, as well as make a few announcements and such like that, kind of a channel update sort of thing. So first and foremost, as of the time that I'm recording this, Jazza, he has this video coming out, which basically it's a win my channel sort of competition. I will be entering into that, so I've been really focused on that specific objective right now. So stay tuned for that. And so I need to kind of update my channel a little bit. I've already kind of changed up the channel art. It used to say open tunes and artwork and stuff like that over there. I don't think that's really all that necessary. People can kind of look at the channel down here and they can totally see, oh, this is an art channel with no difficulty at all. The channel trailer needs to be updated as well. It's a year old. The channel has kind of changed over the course of a year, and I knew that was going to happen, as I stated inside of the last Year in Retrospect video. This time around, I'm not just going to go through all of the videos, or a good chunk of the videos that I've made. I'm going to be talking about the most pivotal ones. So even though some things may have been important way back in the day, it doesn't really matter if they were important way back then. I mean, they're still relevant to some people. They still get a lot of views. I still get people requesting that I make some of these older sort of titles or series, but I'm kind of done with some of the stuff from the past. Not because it's bad. I love all the things that I've done, but it's just not where I'm going with my artwork for right now. So the first video that seems to be really important here is right here. This one right here. The best little mannequin to draw from. Okay? Now, this is actually a demonetized video. I don't have it monetized or anything. There was one point in time where it was flagged or something for copyright, and ever since then I've just been like, okay, fine, it's demonetized. And there's no reason for it to be flagged for copyright infringement throughout the maybe it's just the thumbnail. It's a photograph of, I guess, a copywritten object, and so therefore it's copyright infringement, which I don't really quite understand, because I mean it doesn't really matter. The entire content of the video is me kind of testing out two different types of mannequins and siding with Bodycoon as the best mannequin. So take it for what it's worth. This was actually kind of a surprise that this video was even as popular as it is. It was just something that I made on the fly. The most important thing on my channel is my perspective videos. From basic perspective, I did basic perspective a while ago. Some of it's not inside of a playlist or anything like that, but that's fine. But, you know, eventually I got into fisheye perspective, or curvilinear perspective. And curvilinear perspective is the #1 thing that I can use to get people interested in checking out my channel. And so from this book review, like, it's not the world's best book in the world, but and it's not really sold in the most, I guess, normal sort of way. It's kind of sold in a really weird way, but it's a good book, and it's worth getting your hands on. Either that, or more recently, a different book has actually come out, and it's called How to Draw Curvilinear Perspective 4, 5, 6 Vanishing Points. And it is by Massimo N. Morazzo. Okay? I'm probably butchering the guy's name, but it's a dang good book. I guess I could give a book review of this, but the thing is even this book, it's more in-depth. The How to Draw Curvilinear Perspective book, it's more in-depth than this new perspective systems. But the major problem is that even though it's more in-depth, some of its depth isn't explained enough. So I guess I could go ahead and leave a book review of that someday. So curvilinear perspective, it starts here, starts moving on. I love that. Some of the early speed painting stuff that I did, I never did anything with, which is unfortunate. And every year I wind up looking at these videos and start thinking, like the Road Back to Open Tunes series, like I keep going back to this and thinking, wow, you know, I never did anything with it, and maybe I might be able to figure something out to do with it in the future. This video right here, what I do for a living, faux rock construction, that, and there's like 3 videos, what I do for a living, 1, 2, and 3. They're really good. It kind of gets you to see the sort of work that I do for a living. I even kind of do some behind the scenes, just a little bit, to show just a touch of how a faux rock is made. And for those of you that can't see it, this thumbnail has dragons, 2 dragons and an archway right here, which is, you know, the coolest thing to sculpt. It was a real privilege to be able to work on that, and occasionally we get a really cool job like that to work on, and that's basically my day job. Now, the Noble Frugal Studio collaboration, you know, it continues on for quite a while. There's like 25 videos or something like that for this series. I spent a lot of time on that, and it went nowhere, but that's fine. The only reason why I mention that is I was drawing this image while my hand was broken, and I was drawing it with my broken hand, and you can actually see, like, oh, 28 videos. There's 20, no, I think it's 29 videos. Yeah, 29 videos. I need to change that thumbnail, I guess, maybe. But yeah, I just kind of find it surprising, even for myself, that I hear about somebody breaking their hand and then drawing something that's kind of cool or kind of impressive, and, you know, I think, wow, that's phenomenal. I mean, just the image itself is pretty good, and that person's hand was broken, and now I have something like that on my channel. That's stinking cool. Okay, so what I'm looking at right here is kind of getting me to think about a number of things. You know, for a little while I had this subscriber drawing request series where subscribers would basically throw a whole bunch of ideas at me, and you know, I would start sometimes combining different ideas together, and then I'd go ahead and put those ideas onto a poll and get the audience to vote on it. You know, like you can see, I did a sci-fi warrior mouse sort of thing, and that went on for a little while, and then eventually a new reincarnation of that series came into existence, and that was the Patreon drawing request series. This was the last one right here, the picking coconuts video. It's just the series, you know, you make a video and then you watch all the views and everything just plummet every single time you make a Patreon drawing request series, and it's just clearly your audience isn't liking it, and as much as your patrons might, maybe, it gets you to want to kind of stop doing it. And not only that, every single month I was trying to get in touch with my patrons, and I felt like I was annoying them. I'm like, come on, give me some ideas, come on. And usually, like, just an idea that I really didn't want to draw, that I knew would get less views, was the idea that I would have to run with, which is fine, you know, that's what they were kind of paying for. But what I've decided to do, currently this is the old layout and everything on the screen. I will be updating all of this information, and I will be updating all of the tiers. You can see I have like these long descriptions of each tier here, which I think is not helpful. And again, like every month, it's not just the voter tier that was having difficulty getting in touch with me every single month for the Patreon drawing request. It was the interaction community as well, and it was also the in-depth art critique groups patrons that here I am, I'm trying to get in touch with them every month. I feel like I'm irritating them. They don't get back in touch with me, and I'm not offering what I said I would be able to offer because there's some sort of something standing in the way of me being able to offer what my Patreon has to offer. And ultimately, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that my Patreon is pretty much, I mean, I think my patrons kind of just consider this to be kind of like a tip jar. And so, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, having a tip jar for $1, a tip jar for $3, and another tip jar for $5, and call that good. Beyond $5 a month, I think that's, I mean, Netflix is $7 a month. anything approaching $7, I would have to offer everything that Netflix or Disney Plus or all those other streaming groups have to offer in order to ask for $7 a month. So I haven't. So if you guys have any feedback on that idea, let me know in the comment section below. But ultimately, the Patreon drawing request and the subscriber drawing request and all incarnations of that whole series, it's pretty much dead. I'm not going to continue doing that anymore. As much as I did actually enjoy doing the subscriber drawing request series, it's just there wasn't enough people giving ideas and there wasn't enough people voting, and so the second place winner of the previous month wound up being the winner of the next month, and so I'm using ideas that are months and months old, and eventually I kind of felt like, you know, there's going to come a point where I'm going to run out of these ideas that are really old, and I'm just not going to have anything to draw for the subscriber drawing request series. So it's just something that has had too many problems in order to keep it alive. I really thought that my subscribers would appreciate somebody that's willing to draw a picture for them. I really like these videos: the animating a coin flip, fabricating the sound of thunder, remastering fabricated thunder with Audacity, and animating lightning, animating electricity and light reflections. These videos are freaking awesome. They're not inside of any playlist or anything, but basically this is me showing how I made my video intro for all of my videos. If you look at my earlier videos, and what you would see is an image of my logo, and then the video would start. And you know, that was okay when I first started, but after that I wound up, you know, after I created my intro, you'd wind up hearing this sound effect, the thunder, lightning and stuff like that, the electricity flowing around the coin and everything. I've only had one person say that they didn't like it, but I think it's a great way to start out my videos. It is a placeholder. I do plan on updating it eventually. More on that later. It is a lot of work to do animation. Even if it's just like 2-3 seconds of animation, it takes forever just to do it. And then to think of, how am I going to make this into a tutorial when it took so long and I have like 15 hours worth of footage of me working on this animation. It's very difficult. This is one of my better performing videos. How to use Krita's assistant tool and what it's good for. I really like Krita, even though I don't use it very often. Great video, 26 minutes of jam-packed with educational content on how to use a tool and how it can help you. It won't do any of the thinking for you, but it's still a very, very good video. The Teach Me to Draw series, this is the very beginning of the Teach Me to Draw series was this video right here. What is foreshortening? This is something new artists definitely need to start learning how to do. If they can start doing it as early as humanly possible, then that's great. Foreshortening. Most of the first videos inside of the Teach Me to Draw series are kind of like assignments. The Draw from Everything video, that's just saying, hey, look, a coffee cup, draw a coffee cup. If you see a messy desk or something, try to draw the messy desk, and start doing that all the time. Because really, let's say your aspiration is to be something like an animator or a comic book artist. Okay, well, there's inevitably going to be times where you're going to need to draw that coffee cup or a messy desk or just about anything. And if you've never drawn those things, then you're going to draw them horribly when you're drawing the comic book. So you need to learn how to draw from everything. That's something that's an assignment. You need to be doing that all the time. I'm still doing it. So, and sometimes even for my channel, I'm drawing things that I don't really want to draw, just simply because it is practice and it's things that you guys need to learn. Also, dissect a sketch from a reference. That's an assignment as well. It's kind of weird how I first started out by giving out assignments, but you know, it's not like a strict curriculum, of course. You know, I'm not like some college teacher or something that gives out a grade later on, but if you guys actually do these things, it will help you. And draw from life. Don't just draw from your imagination. I mean, go ahead and draw from your imagination, draw your original characters, but you have to draw from life on a fairly regular basis, even if it's from a photograph. I know that Proco, he likes to say that there's a lot of information information that's lost inside of a photograph, and to be honest, I just don't care. That is horrible advice. I don't care if there's information lost inside of a photograph. There is so much detail inside of a photograph that, you know, you will never have inside of a painting. So learn from photographs if you have to. It's actually it is more difficult to actually draw from something that's actually sitting on the same table as you or sitting in the same room as you, because you have two eyes and you have to keep completely still and close one eye and kind of judge proportions with the length of your pencil and stuff like that. And that is a very good skill to have, but you don't necessarily have to have that skill to be a good artist. Drawing is more than where the lines go, okay? This video is really good. I really like that video. And it is very relevant even today. It's not about the lines that you draw, okay? The lines that you draw are not the end result. They're not the goal when you're drawing. The lines that you draw are supposed to help you communicate a three-dimensional shape that can be moved, rotated, and such like that. Now, rotating objects is difficult, even for experienced artists, but you have to be thinking about the three-dimensional object and the angle that you're looking at it. And you start by thinking that way by drawing from photographs, drawing from life, and such like that. It's essential that you do that, okay? Okay, I had a few videos that I was thinking about making into t-shirts. I'm still thinking that they will become t-shirts eventually. Like this thumbnail right here, like that I think would be a cool, fun t-shirt to have. This one, thirds. Basically having mathematical formulas with my mascot on them in order to, just as kind of like a fashion statement as t-shirts. I think that would be cool. I still have not sold a single t-shirt. I don't have them on the market yet because I just don't think that they'll sell. If you would buy a t-shirt that with any of these designs, like for example, I've had a number of people say that they would buy this t-shirt design with the skulls, but if you guys feel as though you would buy a t-shirt design either with my logo, with the skulls, or with these mathematical perspective symbols, like geometric symbols that you need to know in order to draw in perspective, then let me know if you would in the comment section below, because that would be interesting. I even think that this image right here, without the test time, this, let me actually find the video itself, or the image itself. I actually think this would be a really good t-shirt to have, especially if I could find a printer where this red line actually wraps around the side and onto the back of the t-shirt, and it goes ahead and creates a design that forms into my logo. I think that would be really fun. Let me know if you guys would want t-shirts like this, and if you would actually buy, like, if you would actually buy the t-shirt, leave a comment in the comment section below. If I feel like there's enough demand for my artwork in some printed, like, merchandise sort of way, that's when I'm going to start merchandising my stuff. Okay, the Teach Me to Draw series eventually wound up having another little sub-series inserted into it. The Your Training Wheels to Drawing in Perspective. This is a very solid series. I've had one person critique the artwork presented inside of that series, saying that I need to work on my line work and that I draw like somebody who just barely started drawing, which is nonsense. I think I was being trolled, to be honest. Ultimately, I'm drawing a sketch inside of that video. I'm not going to be like showing how I draw each and every single line and then lead into inking it. Like, it's an educational drawing. That's all it is. Once you have a sketch, it's up to you to go ahead and make the final refinements. So I'm not, like, that's not the goal of the Training Wheel sub-series. The goal is to teach you how to draw in perspective, and eventually it will lead into talking about more advanced stuff, such as jumping into Blender and doing experiments mathematically in order to visualize in three-dimensional space how perspective works, as well as it'll jump into more advanced stuff as it'll be an update to curvilinear perspective at some point in time, okay? And the old curvilinear perspective series, although it is still solid, I feel as though I made it a really long time ago. The video quality is pretty bad. At the very beginning of the series, I didn't even have editing software, and so it's time that it needs to have an update. I don't know if I'll be able to get to it all in 20 2020. I keep piling on all these different ideas throughout my channel, and it's nice to always stay busy, but it's also difficult to get to everything, including my comic book. Very difficult to do that. But really, it's this video right here. This video right here is what's gotten my channel to start blowing up as of 2019. Now, oftentimes people, they subscribe to my channel because of that video, and they think that, I guess they think that I know like everything about Blender or something like that. I'm actually fairly new to Blender. I have never made that any secret or anything like that. My primary use of Blender is to create some sort of 3D model so that I could bring it into a 2D animation or 2D outlet of some sort, like Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, Krita. If I had Photoshop, I would use Photoshop, I guess, but I don't really want Photoshop. But I bring it into there and wind up using the 3D model as something like a rough sketch for my 2D artwork. So it's right here. You can actually see it. Right around here, this is where the channel exploded, and I bring my mouse over here, and YouTube informs me of what videos came out around that time. And really, it's this video right here. It's your first 2D animation in Blender. And I was thinking I was going to get right into 2D animation a heck of a lot more, but the interpolation systems are not as in depth as, say, something like Kikani. And this is the demo version of it. I wouldn't be able to save my files or anything like that. I don't know if I could really export an animation or just one image, but yeah, my impressions of this program are interesting. Last time I used it, it was with my Intuos, and I had difficulty making strokes, like fast strokes. Yeah, see, look at that. There was lag with 4 of my strokes. So Kikani can be pretty buggy, but I really wish the Blender Foundation with the grease pencil would take some notes off of Kikani. I have not yet delved into this, primarily because I can't save it, and I don't really want to, well, I really don't want to spend the $300 to get that. I suppose on my Patreon, I suppose I could change the goal. This is kind of a stupid goal that I've gone ahead and made. I suppose I could change the goal to $300 to get Kikani, and providing tutorials on it, and maybe I might be able to find some way to talk to the Blender Foundation about, hey, can we incorporate this stuff into the grease pencil? But that's kind of all up in the air right now. I have had a bunch of people ask me, what am I going to do about Copa? Really, there's nothing that I can do about Copa except for start moving it on over to BitChute, moving my channel over to BitChute, which is an alternative to YouTube. And you can see that I've been in the process of migrating my files, my videos on over to a BitChute channel right here. There are some problems with BitChute, such as if I go to the actual homepage and everything like that, basically there are no real recommended anything. The information is not being filtered or catered to you or censored even. So this stuff that appears here is pretty much like a live feed, like latest uploads and stuff like that. It says that these are popular videos, but they're really not. A lot of them really aren't. And the search features kind of sucks. And not only that, but the categories kind of suck. I wish that they would take a page out of DeviantArt, because like arts and literature, okay? That is a huge subject. And it'd be nice to be able to actually kind of like depict whether or not you're looking for literature or if you're actually looking for drawings and stuff like that. Like, I'm getting a whole bunch of stuff that I have absolutely no interest in whatsoever, and since the search feature isn't that good right now, it makes it really difficult to want to come to this website as a full YouTube replacement. For those of you that might say, well, that's because BitChute sucks, keep in mind it wasn't too long ago when YouTube was exactly the same way as BitChute is currently, and some of the things that we love about YouTube are also the things that we hate about YouTube. Just keep that in mind as well. So, although I am migrating all of my files over to BitChute, this does not mean that I'm shutting down everything on YouTube. That would be complete suicide to everything that I've been working for in the last 3 years. What this means is basically if the situation just gets so bad and Copa decides that my channel is 100% just for children or something like that, well, then my channel's just going to become a commercial platform that will advertise my content on BitChute. So, what do we have to look forward to for the year 2020? I don't know, honestly. I think more of the Training Wheels series. I think a lot more of, me drawing images for my patrons, like an image once a month for my patrons, and working on Blender, getting my Blender skills a lot more refined to the point to where I could use it for more than just my 2D artwork and such. I actually have a decent backlog of video footage that I have ready to actually edit and put together. I have a couple of series that are kind of on the back burner, just sitting there waiting to be edited, and that's kind of interesting. I keep getting people suggesting, well, you should get people to watch your videos by clickbait sort of information. And I don't know. I don't want to necessarily draw an image purely based off of how it's trending on the internet. I kind of want to draw what I want to draw and not care about what's popular, because that's just me. That's how I've always been. I've never really entered into the popularity race, trying to be popular. Of course, I do want to succeed, but I've always thought that I should be able to succeed on my own merits, based off of who I am, what I'm interested in, and hopefully somewhere out there other people are similar. The 2 years in retrospect video ended like this. Okay, so in the 1 year in retrospect video, I had 683 subscribers. So 683 subscribers, and then I had 1,300 subscribers, and I was actually really happy that I had that many at the time. I'm still very happy that I was able to accrue that much. So let me bring up my calculator. I knew that something was wrong in the 2 years in retrospect video. I wasn't getting as many subscribers, because if I get 1,300 and subtract 683, I had 617 subscribers. It was kind of a drop in the number of subscribers for the year. Whereas now I have, let me get an exact number from the Creator Studio, 2,647. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so if I type in 2,647 subscribers and subtract 1,300 subscribers from last year, yeah, that's exponential growth. That's just 47 more than what I got in 2 years of working on YouTube. That's exponential growth right there. So I'm really happy with the turnout of this year. Hopefully I'm able to win that Jazza competition to win his channel for a day. That would add another boost. And, you can't really, you can see a little bit of a jump here after that Blender video. And it does actually stay up. But if I go to something more like 90 days or 365 days, you can actually see that, the number of subscribers has continued to be up. Watch time has jumped up quite significantly. I would say maybe 2/4 more, I would say. And views I would say it's jumped up maybe 50% more in general. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. I'm very happy about that, and I don't plan on doing this forever, simply because I don't think it's necessarily always going to be people's business. But like you can see, there was one point in time where I was monetized, and then YouTube changed its algorithm. I'm making an average of like $1.71, close to $1 every day with ad revenue and all of that. I'm really happy to basically announce, I have actually filled out a W-9, and I am getting actual payments of what I've been working on for the last 3 years now. As far as COPA goes, if I can kind of backtrack the conversation a bit, I think it's going to be a little bit of an issue for my channel, but not too much. I mean, I think that there's a difference from content that is obviously meant for children, like the Teletubbies and such like that, but it's content that should appeal to children that are close to the age of 13 and such like that as well. But if, you know, if I go into my analytics once again, you know, I take a look at that and I look at my audience. It looks like the overwhelming majority of my audience is male. Yeah, so 13 to 17 year olds.
0%
of 13 to 17 year old kids watch my videos. 18 to 24 year olds, 50% of my audience. 25 to 34 year olds, actually, you know, the 18 to 24, that went up. Like this went up for the 18 and 28. It used to be like 25 to 34. That used to be like the major audience for me. And it looks like I'm starting to cater to 35 to 44 year olds, which is awesome. Looks like I'm performing best in the United States. Wow, India. People in India are paying attention to my videos. I mean, it's only 7%, but a bunch of Indians like my videos. That's awesome. United Kingdom's basically England. 4.4%. I'm glad I'm not censored over there. Germany, 4.3%. I don't know anything about Germany, unfortunately, but I'm glad. That's a big country over there. Nice, big, proud country. And Canada, 2%. Canadians, you guys need to step it up. That is a joke. I'm not serious. So that's kind of my overview of the work that I've been doing over the last 3 years. Anyways, guys, that pretty much concludes it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if you guys would like to get more notifications from me, feel free to click on the bell or go ahead and follow me on Twitter. If you would like to have more participation with my community, you can always join me on my Discord server. A link to my Twitter and Discord is in the video description below. If you'd like to support my channel, there's an image of my mascot in the upper right corner of the screen right now. It leads to my Patreon. Any support would be much appreciated. If you've enjoyed this content and would like to see more, feel free to click on anything else that's appearing on the screen right now. Thank you very much for your time.